Hey guys, Roger here. Ready to give you the real breakdown on yet another movie. Today we're going to review and give you the real breakdown on Call Me By Your Name. Call Me By Your Name is a film that is nominated for Best Picture of the Year at the Oscars. It's one of the films that I also ended up watching as part of my marathon of Oscar-nominated films, where I watched 4 movies. It actually was the last movie that I ended up watching. My initial reactions to it it's very different. It's a very different type of movie. Definitely not for everyone, but I think that I actually respect the director and the actors for doing and promoting the movie and the film and creating the film and the story that they did. I'm not sure if this is based on a book or if this is based on a true story or something, but I will say that it took me a while for the story to settle in with me. So for those of you that maybe aren't familiar with the story, this movie is about, and it's in the trailer, so no spoilers. This is a non-spoiler review. You can tell from the trailers that this movie is about a younger boy, well, more like a teenager. He's in his teens, and an older guy played by Armie Hammer. The younger guy is played by Timothée Chalamet. And Armie Hammer plays the older fellow. They actually end up exploring their sexuality, so they do end up having some sort of a relationship. You can tell that from the trailer. This movie, to me, had some pacing issues for me. I didn't really have a problem with the whole, gay thing or bisexual or whatever. I didn't have an issue with that. What I had an issue with was that I felt that this movie was 3.5 hours long. I don't actually know what the runtime is on this, but I think it's actually about 2 hours. The whole first hour to me was it kind of dragged a bit. It was a bit slow. I thought that it took forever as far as getting into the actual meat of the story. They did take some chances though, and I can applaud them for that. They explored a young boy coming into his own as far as exploring his sexuality and exploring what it is to experiment and to do things. They actually show some things that maybe some people have been through or have gone through before, and they weren't afraid of it. I mean, some of it is controversial, I'm not going to lie. They went there, and I can definitely applaud them for that. To me, I just thought that the place that this film actually takes place in Italy, and Armie Hammer, the older man coming in, he actually is like a foreign exchange student or something that comes to stay at this kid's his parents' house, and it's a very, very beautiful house. It's kind of a mansion sort of, and it's very relaxed. It's very nice. The scenery was amazing. It actually made me want to go back to Italy. I just thought the pacing was slow. There were scenes that I'm just like, okay, they're having a conversation. Where's this going? Someone walking, someone riding their bike. So I guess you could say in some way, shape, or form that kind of plays into the story, but it wasn't until halfway through, actually a little bit more than halfway through, that the movie actually picks up and you get into the actual relationship of it. Because look, if you already kind of know the movie, you're just kind of thinking, okay, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? When are they finally going to end up, doing their thing or whatever you want to call it? Once it actually happens, it's like, then the story starts to develop, because then it's like, okay, what's going to happen next? What does the next day look like? They're worried, oh my God, did I make a mistake? Did he make a mistake? What's going on? Do I like him? Do I not like him? It was very, very interesting, and I thought that a lot of the actors in the film were very good. So going into, some of the things that I did like about it, the acting was very strong, especially for a movie that I said, is very controversial. I think the actors did a phenomenal job as far as being professional about it and taking risk and, being like, hey, we're going to do this scene and we're going to go through with it. So I thought I liked that aspect of it. Obviously, some of the things I didn't like was the pacing, like I said. For me, the first hour felt like forever. And until we actually got to the main part of the story, then it started to pick up. It could have also been because maybe it was the last movie I saw, so maybe I had a bit of fatigue, but I don't even think it's that, because I've seen 6 movies before in a single day, so I don't think it was that. What I will say, though, going back to some of the things that I did like about this film, was that there is a scene in the end. I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but there is a scene in the end where it's 2 people having a conversation. It is, I don't know if I want to say this. All right, so at the end, it's not really a spoiler, guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. At the end, there's a scene with the kid, Timothée Chalamet, and his father. I don't know the actor's name, but and they have a conversation. And all I can say is that conversation alone that they have and the things that get revealed in that conversation kind of made the movie for me, because I'm not going to lie, about halfway through I was like, oh God, this movie is not good. I kind of want to fall asleep. But then the movie picks up, and then at the end they kind of seal it with a button, like they kind of like put the icing on the cake there, and that conversation alone kind of saved the movie for me. That conversation saved the movie for me. And I thought, wow, now I get why this is nominated for an Oscar. Literally, like a 5-minute conversation they have at the end of the movie is kind of what made it for me. I'm sure other people have other opinions on it. That, to me, was what sealed the deal. They also, that's actually not the ending. There's still a little bit more after, but that's kind of part of the ending, closer to the end. And so then the actual ending itself is really interesting. They ended on not a weird note, but they ended on a more realistic note, I guess you could say. So in the end, what can I say about this movie other than it's the exploration of someone growing up and exploring their sexuality. And even though to me it was very different just how they shot it and how long it took them to get into, the main part of the story, but at the end they do explore two people's relationship and, the love that they share. Yeah, so would I recommend this movie? I'm going to tell you right off the bat, this movie's not for everyone. Just for the fact that, there are sexual scenes, there are sexual references in this film. Obviously, I believe it's rated R. And like I said, it's kind of a slower paced movie. Not a lot of people know about it. It is getting Oscar recognition, but at the same time, it's not your, action, big budget film. It's more of an indie film. So yeah, definitely watch the trailer before you go see this movie. The trailer does a good job of giving you a vibe, how like kind of long and slow the pacing is, but at the same time, the kind of story that you're going to get. So check out the trailer. If you think you're okay with it, then definitely go see it. Give it a chance, but I can't recommend this for everyone. And if you're not sure, then maybe just go on a $5 Tuesday to the movies, or maybe catch it later on Netflix, or catch it, on Amazon or something. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting choice for the Oscar nomination for Best Picture of the Year. But I checked it out, and it's a decent film. It's a decent film. I think the last 30 minutes of it really saved it for me. So there it is. You have it. There's the real breakdown for Call Me By Your Name. Keep it here, guys. We'll see you around.